Hey, what's up? I got some more Riftbound content for you guys. Following up on my recent deep dive that covered Viktor, I also have a deck profile for him. I will say, this is probably a slightly more aggressive take on Viktor, but it's also super beginner friendly in terms of game plan and playstyle. It's definitely a great way to get started learning him, especially as an upgraded deck list from the pre-constructed Viktor deck. Also, small disclaimer, I'm still new to these physical deck profiles, so please drop a like if you want to see more. So for this one, I'm proxying a few cards because I simply don't have them, and there's also some different sleeves involved, so I apologize for the ugly colors that will appear at times. With that, let's get into it, starting with the legend card and my chosen champion, which is of course Yellow Viktor. Real quick, I want to show off the promo Viktor legend that I got from topping at a Nexus Knight. I also went 4-1 in a Summoner Skirmish, so I've been gaming. Drop a sub for the tournament dubs. Much love. And moving on to the rest of the deck profile. So for main deck, we'll be starting with 3 Stupefy. So you don't have to run Stupefy, but it is a very simple, beginner-friendly card, and I'm also running a couple of Ravenbloom Student, so it comes up in early game combats quite a bit. It can also help the recruit tokens trade a bit more favorably, while cycling itself for another card. And if you find yourself on an opponent's Dreaming Tree, you can take a page from Kaisa's book and stupefy your own unit for a quick draw too, in case you need to, right? In case you need to see more options and Stup isn't giving you value anymore. So this really comes up the most in the mid game. Next I have 2 Retreats. Retreat is really good into Kaisa and also Annie, especially giving you the option to replay Viktor from hand in case he's being targeted by something like Falling Star, or Falling Star plus just a Stupefy, right? Can get them there. So being able to retreat Viktor back to your hand is really nice because the retreat will give you a channeled rune and you can use that channeled rune to repay for Viktor's recycle cost. So basically retreat's helping you out a ton there. A lot of people run retreat inside, but I think main decking too is pretty safe. You can also side it out depending on matchup. And for 2 cost units, we have the triple Soaring Scout, triple Watchful Sentry, and double Ravenbloom Student, giving us a total of 8 2 costs. Of course the Scout and the Sentry are great for econ, but yeah, Ravenbloom Student is super awesome to get up early and then use as like a mid-game swing unit, right? You can just have Ravenbloom in base, get the tokens generated, get them to battlefields, and then when you have a couple spells that you want to chain together, like maybe Stupefy, something else, then Ravenbloom can come in and get like a really big swing and maybe knock down something that your opponent has been developing. I also think that Daring Poro is a fantastic 2 cost to consider, gives you another like aggressive option. So instead of Ravenbloom Student and the Stupefys, you could very well run Daring Poro and then 2 or 3 of anything else. Moving on to 2 cost spells, we have triple Hidden Blade. Really good flexible kill card. Can use it on your opponent's units, can use it on your own units as a reaction to something, that way you get your draw too. Super sick. We also have triple Call the Weak. Similar thing, really good kill spell, especially in the early game when your opponent can only develop like 1 or 2 things at a time. You can set up tokens and then use Call the Weak, kill your own tokens, and then the opponent has to kill their like main developments. So really good at giving you momentum and putting the opponent behind. Alright, moving on to our 3 cost token units. We are running triple Faithful Manufactor and also, of course, the triple Vanguard Captain. These are going to be our go-to token generators in the mid-game. You can also start off with the Manufactor and start getting token pressure right away if you're on Obelisk going first, or if you're just going second in general. So really important to like scatter your resources across multiple bodies. That's why Viktor's so good and so strong, is that you can just set up multiple bodies and then swing multiple times into multiple battlefields, getting multiple captures and multiple holds, right? So, yeah, big word there. I use multiple, like, I don't know, 19 times in the course of like 15 seconds, so that's how you know it's a pretty important aspect of his deck. Aside from the token spawners, we also do run 2 Lecturing Yordle per cycle. Very good, very consistent. For other units, we also have double Cruel Patron, who's a really good hold body. I personally like curving him out after like Scout on turn 1, and then do Yellow Viktor from the Chosen Champion spot on turn 2, and then you can play a token plus Patron on turn 3, targeting the Scout, right, your Soaring Scout. That way you get the rune back that your Yellow Viktor recycled, so really good for economy, and is a really nice hold body. 4 runes for 6 is just absolutely insane. Also got the double Sprite Mother. That way we can like push into things. This actually has really good synergy with Stupefy as well, because then you can stoop something down while your readied sprite goes in and can beat over it, getting you the conquer point. So another really good synergy there. Next we have 2, Consult the Past. Nice little hidden card. So this really comes up when your opponent doesn't know if it's Hidden Blade or Consult, and you can also hide at both battlefields. Like let's say you have like early game tempo, you have both battlefields conquered and controlled. You can do Hidden Blade at one, Consult at the other, and then the opponent doesn't actually know which one's Hidden Blade. If they're both Hidden Blade, they might think it's both Consult, maybe, if they know you're running it, but really good like little trickery that you can do. Keep them guessing, and then as soon as you want to resolve it, you can just flip Consult for a draw too. Help you get to your mid and late game win con. Very nice. Speaking of mid to late game win con, we have Grand Stratagem at 2 of. Now, I don't think it's entirely necessary to run it at 3. You absolutely can because, A, too much Stratagem is never a bad thing unless you just can't recycle for it, but 2 Grand Stratagem is good enough, especially with all the innate draw and cycle in the deck. You're definitely going to get to a Grand Stratagem or, spoiler alert, Watcher, who's also in here, like by the time that you need them. So you should be good on just 2. If you want to run at 3, it's fine. I think it can be a bit heavy. I think also if you're going to run Stratagem at 3, you probably want to run Seals. That way you can just continue paying for the recycle cost pretty efficiently. Little side note actually about Seals. Yeah, I'm not running them, but I actually think they're really valuable if you're running things like Machine Evangel, Spectral Matron, Imperial Decree, or if you're on Yellow Darius. Like, honestly, the seals are super high value, so if you're running any of those or you want to run those, definitely consider the yellow seals as well. Alright, rounding us up, we have double main decked Singularity. Really good against body decks, so things like Set. And also if you want to snipe Kaisa or Darius once they've already been developed, really good to try to get your tempo back with Singularity. And then, of course, we have the double Watcher as well. And moving on to runes, we're going to be running a very simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellows, and of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues. This ratio is entirely necessary. You want to go a little heavy on the yellow since you are going to be recycling yellow way more often than not, and the blues are mainly going to be for Singularity, Watcher, and Sprite Mother. But you're going to need the heavy yellows for Grand Stratagem, of course. So 7-5 just kind of makes sense. Alright, next we have battlefields. So I want to be talking about my battlefield roulette of Obelisk of Power, Trifarian Warcamp, and the Arena's Greatest. I want to throw out Obelisk on game 1 when I don't know who's going first or second, because honestly, Obelisk helps you as the Viktor player regardless if you're going first or second. So what's really cool, like let's assume we're going first. Okay, we win the coin toss or the dice roll, whatever it is. So we're going first with Obelisk. We start the game with 3 runes going first. So we do a 2 cost, like let's say Soaring Scout, and we can also use that extra rune to get a token. That's turn 1, 2 bodies, and that's really good. That's like damn near impossible for other decks to like match. Even when you're giving the opponent an extra rune as the Viktor player, you're actually benefiting more from it than they are. So they're going to go into like 4 mana, that's fine, whatever. And then you're able to go into your second turn, right, when it passes back to you, threatening a conquer on both battlefields because you set up a 2 cost and your token. That way you can like divide and conquer, you know, for lack of better terms. A little bit of a pun there, but yeah, really, really good, really consistent. And of course, if you lose the dice roll and you go second, you're still happy with more runes. Hey, Viktor with 4? Hey, you know what? It's literally a win-win situation when you start with Obelisk of Power in game 1. Now let's say if we lose, we get to go to the Trifarian Warcamp, right? Because you get to pick going first. So Trifarian Warcamp is going to be your going first battlefield. That way you can get tokens in there, you can get your dudes in there right away, and threaten really big holds, really wide holds. It's difficult for the opponent to get over like 4 bodies all in Warcamp, because this is another like divide and conquer kind of strategy, where if you set up a bunch of dudes at Warcamp, you're getting infinitely more value because it scales up with the amount of bodies that you have in there, because you're getting the +1 on each thing. So that's super good, especially if your opponent is trying to play like one big dude at a time, like Kingpin Set. He's going to come in with +1, but your dudes are going to have like +4 or +5 split across your multiple bodies that you have set up there. So Trifarian Warcamp is another one of those things where it's really one-sided and it benefits Viktor more than it does the opponent. And you have all the power of choice as the Viktor player since you are setting it up and you're going first. So really, really good. And if you win, of course, then we want to go to the arena's greatest, giving both players an extra point. And that really helps Viktor because he is a 6-point machine. All he wants to do is get to 6 points and then play Stratagem or Watcher and then go for Conquer Win Con. The Arena's Greatest does help you get there a little bit faster and is nice against the slower decks that need an extra turn or an extra point or two in order to develop their win cons. So you basically get to get underneath their thresholds and get a little bit more aggression out there. That's why I said at the beginning of the video that this is like a little bit more of an aggressive take on Viktor. It's definitely like more proactive than reactive for sure. It knows what it wants to do, it sets up a game plan, and it plays for it. So there's 2 more battlefields I want to talk about real quick. The first is the obvious Grand Plaza, which has innate synergy with Viktor. So why am I not running it? Well, I think Grand Plaza is really good if you want to go for the alternate win con, but my overall take is that Viktor doesn't exactly need it, and usually by the time that you can resolve the win con, you probably should have won the game already, like through normal means. I'd like it more if Viktor kind of relied on it to win, but since he's good enough to stand on his own 2 mechanical feet, it doesn't seem necessary, but is a fun alternate way to try to win. It's pretty decent as a game 1 battlefield to scare the opponent though, but I feel like in the same sense, it might create game states where you focus too hard on it as the Viktor player and it affects your decision making, baiting you into a bad bolster that if something bad happens to you that you weren't really ready for, like a big swing, you basically just get blown out and lose off of it. Another really cool battlefield I've seen is Vile Maw's Lair, and I think that's really good against like Annie and also purple stuff in general because you can have your dudes set up at your opponent's battlefield and then you have Vile Maw's Lair and they don't want to go there. So that's a really good tech battlefield. And finally for side deck, now I don't have all these cards on hand, so I'll just pop them up on screen. You can do like any combination of Smokescreen, Sprite Call, Salvage versus Gear / Aurora of course, Siphon Power. I think Siphon Power is best in the mirror match. You could do Third Retreat, you could do third copies of pretty much anything else. A lot of good options in the side. I think that's one of the cool things about Viktor is that he has the ability to run more things at 2 of rather than playsets, right? I would actually highly value having more utility in the deck and more options and kind of try to play Viktor as a Swiss Army knife, right? Maybe like jack of all trades, master of a few things, because he does do things really well. So if you run more things at 2 of, you have more options, more things to scare the opponent. And since you have so much draw and cycle since you're blue, I think, yeah, you should probably try to run more things at 2 and just see how that feels. But for now, that is the end of the video. Again, make sure to check out the deep dive for this deck as well if you want more context. Please comment below who you want to see a deep dive and deck profile for next. The highest upvoted comment will be the champion I choose for the next couple videos, so you have the power to dictate this video series. While you're commenting, please, again, drop a like and hit the subscribe button if this video helped at all, or if you want to see more. You have no idea how much those small things mean to me. And that's it for this one. Extra shout out to the patrons on screen. Much love and thank you for supporting. Aside from making YouTube videos, I also stream on Twitch. Check me out over there for live gameplay and yap sessions. I plan on doing community Riftbound tournaments in my Discord server as well, so feel free to join in to catch those events and when I go live or post videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters.